Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
Welcome to the very green county of Uasin Gishu. We are shooting the Great Debaters Contest Eldoret Edition. I am Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Yombok. We bring you Turbo School versus Kituro High School. Their motion is education should be devolved from the national government to the county government. Who'll be the victor, Mariam?
Only one way to find out. Proposal number 1, you have 3 minutes.
Devolution is the decentralization of powers and authority from the national government to the local levels of authority. As per Abraham Lincoln, democracy is the government of the people, by the people, for the people. Therefore, if such a great inspirational leader did so, who are we then not to do so? My name is Emmanuel Chelule from the Great Turbo School. My first point, devolution will help in reducing cases of exam irregularities. For example, for education to be devolved, every county will have to set up an examination body to govern the issuance and marking of examinations. If an examination body is set, for example, in Uasin Gishu County, the scope of its management will be smaller compared to the Kenya National Examination Council, which has to manage issuance and marking of exams all over the country. To the second point, devolution isn't the commitments that the national government has and gives the national government enough time to concentrate on other controversial issues. For example, if education is devolved to the county government, the national government will have enough time to concentrate on controversial issues such as security and land issues that have continued to havoc our country for the past decade. To my third point, devolution increases efficiency, excellence, and exploitation of the potentials of our young generation, as the county government will set the standards of excellence and success as per the ability and standards of the county. For example, in Turkana County, a student from Turkana County will not have to compete with a student from Alliance High School who has all the facilities that he needs to succeed. So success will be measured by the parameters of the ability and the resources available in a county. To my fourth and last point, county sponsorships are more fact-based than national sponsorships. For example, in national sponsorships, most of the students who are sponsored, they are sponsored on the basis of who they know and their relatives in this country. For example, those in the high offices that offer loans and sponsorships to children from poor backgrounds will sponsor children who come from their tribe or their ethnic background. And those are my points. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes for your opening statements.
As my fellow colleague here has just defined devolution as the act of giving power from the central government to the regional government. Evans Kibet from Kituro High School kindly opposing the motion, education should be devolved from the national government to the county government. First of all, devolving education will be the biggest mistake this country will ever make. The counties itself, it has been defeated to manage the other task that it has. And education is the highest task that each and every county will be given. Let me just ask you a question. If counties have been defeated to manage tasks like health, like Nakuru County, what about education? You know, this is my life, this is your life, this is our life. This is the life of the next generation. Okay, in my first point, some counties like Nairobi, Nakuru, they have the devolution. They have a head start of this devolution. And some counties like Turkana and Vihiga, they are landlocked. They will be left behind. They don't have this information, this vital information that we do have. You see? Second of all, which parent will want their child not to pass in examination? None. Every parent wants his or her child to excel in examination. So if you just devolve education to the county government, you'll just be bringing problems and other problems. And education is the key thing. People say that education is success. Education is life. Education is everything. So please don't mess with this education. Evans Kibet, Kituro High School. Thank you.
Rebuttals now, beginning with the proposers. You have 3 minutes.
Well. I'd like to second my counterpart and tell my opposing mate that it will not be a mistake, but the first step to success. Let's take an example of the just concluded elections in the year 2013. That actually meant that certainly devolution will take place, and therefore you should accept it for it's there to stay. Then, on to my point. Devolution is there for good, so it will encourage competition in counties. Let's take an example in here. If I was to ask anybody, whose home is the best? Everybody would want to say his home is the best actually, because anybody would do anything to make his home the best out of anything. Now, what am I trying to say here? Your county, it's like your home, your motherland. You do everything to make it the best, even if it means having to lose your own life. Therefore, if these people see that their county is not well like the other counties, they will do their best, not just in education, but also in co-curricular activities, like, for example, games. And if they do this, they'll end up getting sponsorships and other things that come with it. On to my second point. There will be easy supply of education facilities and funds like books and laptops, which enhance reading and easy accession to education facilities. Let's take an example of the new government we voted in. They promised us laptops, but what have we seen of late? Nothing. Only a few counties have been reported to gain the laptops. But it was not the effort of the national government that they got it. It was the effort of the counties through sponsors and well-wishers that they got the laptops. Let's take an example of another country, Rwanda. We know well that Kenya is well off economic-wise and infrastructure-wise than Rwanda. But even the remote place of Rwanda, that if the name is mentioned, one cannot even identify the place. You can find the students there with laptops. And they're not just laptops, but they're solar-powered laptops, so they cannot complain about electricity. And then there's the point about ghost workers. If we look clearly, even in our own state, Kenya, there are teachers who are on payroll, yet they do not even set their foot in class to teach the students about anything. Now, what can we do about this? If you tell the principal, he'll just assume it. But if education is brought at the county level, then there'll be ministers in charge of that. If a complaint is taken, then there'll be instant action to take place. And the students will get taught on what they need. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes for your rebuttal.
I want to first start by disagreeing what the first proposer has just said. Devolving education will not reduce the rate of examination irregularities in our counties, but it will increase. I want to ask a question to the audience. Which county will not want to prosper? The answer is each and every county will like to prosper. Hence, they will indulge in teaching so that they may emerge one of the best counties in the country. My name is Kipchumba Linet from Kituro High School. On to my first point. Sincerely speaking, Kenyans, counties have already overwhelmed with a few functions that have been devolved to them, like health, road, public services. The challenge with this reality cannot be ignored. A good example is the health sector. Take an example of Kirinyaga County, Murang'a County. Their nurses, doctors, and all the medical professionals are on strike. What will happen if we devolve education? It will be adding a serious blunder to this Republic of Kenya. On to my second point. If education is devolved, it means that a large percentage of the children will go to the same local school, learn the same things, play the same games with their childhood friends, also go to church, listen to their local pastors. Hence, there will be no sharing of ideas. Devolving education to the county levels will enhance ethnicity, social deviancy, and also selfishness. If we devolve this education, meaning that most of the students will be interacting within their counties, it will also lead to not them expounding. They'll not get friends, maybe from other counties. This will also lead to them, they will also associate with each other, engage in maybe incest, and if they engage in this incest, it will lead to high cases of inbreeding, which will cause a lot of mental and physical disabilities in this in each and every of their county. Moreover, each and every county has been allocated a list of priorities. You'll find that, let's take for example, a county like Turkana. They may be under budgeted. What will happen? Like a county like Nairobi, they have sufficient funds. Take an example of the county of Turkana. They are under budgeted. If we devolve this education, surely, are we enforcing equality? No. And I want also to finish by saying that education is the key to success.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register. The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
Thank you, audience, for those questions. The proposition have been asked how counties will be able to sustain education when they have different financial capabilities, and the opposition have been taken to task on how examination irregularities can be reduced if education remains the mandate of the national government. We'll have them respond. Third proposer, you have 3 minutes.
It is inevitable for us to assume the turmoils currently witnessed in our education system. We should therefore make haste and develop the education sector to accord our children a better tomorrow. I overheard from a prominent leader that the late Mzee Jomo Kenyatta whipped members of cabinet and citizens who disrupted development. And I'm sorry for you, my opposers. You will face the wrath if his presence will still be in existence. On to the question. Bringing the devolvement to the county, it is a source of heritage whereby you'll be able to tell your friends that I learned from my county, got good education from my county. After that, I got a good job from my county. It is a source of pride. And also, it is the issue on funds. Funds may not be a major issue since the government oversees different running of institutions whereby the national government gives a hand in the assistance of education, since it will not literally leave the county government to use itself and run the education system. The county government also has projects that gives its funds to enable and facilitate the running of the education system. The devolvement of the government into the sector of education will ease the problem of teacher shortage. This is brought by the teachers working
insecure places such as Garissa, which was faced with insecurity last year, as we all witnessed. Teachers hitherto flee this area since they are from different places and their main employer being the Teacher Service Commission. Therefore, they opt for them to work in more secure places. But bringing this education system to the county government will help the county government to employ teachers from the county who are well versed with the education system based on the county level. My, oh my, I thought everyone, I thought no one will dare oppose the issue of devolvement. But don't worry, my dear fellow debaters, I'm here not to correct you, but only to give you the facts about it. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to respond to the audience.
I'm Kelvin Korir from Kituro High School. And I would like to answer the question that a member of the audience has just posed. Now, speaking of examination irregularities, you know, last year, particularly last year, all of us know that that was immense in all the counties, everywhere in this country. And they always say that a good person, a person who is responsible, learns from his mistakes. And I'm sure that us as students, us as Form 4s, us as students, we don't want to repeat these things again because we know the problems that it's going to give to us. Now, speaking about irregularities, you know, if you want to change something, you don't have to rely on anybody. It's about your mindset change. If you want us to actually know these examination irregularities are a thing of the past, then it has to first start with us. It's how we change our mindsets. It's how we change our way of thinking. Now, speaking of the national government, everybody is aware that the NEC, Kenya National Examination Council, Board of Managers, was just disbanded, isn't it? So that, according to me, will give me courage because I know that this issue about examination irregularity is coming to an end. Now, speaking about, I heard somebody say that, as the second speaker from my side has just said, these students, these pupils from primary school and high schools will read from their own primary schools, their own high schools, isn't it? Then, to me, according to me, then you'll be limiting the movements of these people, isn't it? So, you cannot actually just devolve education because you'll be going against the Bill of Rights. You can't just stand up one morning and then actually deprive people of their movements. Speaking about funds, we know that counties have their own priorities. And we know that counties like Nairobi, counties like Mombasa, they're head start in terms of revolution. They have money. Their infrastructure is well developed. Now, how about these counties like Turkana? You see, they are not well developed. Therefore, this thing about education is going to get them unawares, isn't it? And what will be the future about education? Of course, downfall, isn't it? Now, if you are going to develop education, think about the quality of education that you're going to give to that child. Think about it. We will not be speaking about quality, but about competition. Now, the quality of education in our counties is going to go down. And if it goes down, then our workforce of the future is in a mess. Kelvin Korir from Kituro High School. Thank you.
We'll hear closing submissions now. Proposition, you have 1 minute.
Before I make my conclusions, I'll start by citing an example of the United Kingdom, which is one of the great source of inspiration to Kenya, which adopted the system of devolution of the education system. And as we talk now, the UK is one of the most successful nations in terms of its education system. Devolution is surely a magnificent gift that our great constitution has accorded us, and we should therefore make maximum use of it. Thank you.
Opposition, you have a minute as well.
Devolving education will be taking the only strand of nationhood holding this country together. As I know that Kenya is a law-abiding country, and as it has been stated in the Constitution of Kenya 2010, that education is conducted by the national government. So, what is your take in this? If we devolve this education, we'll be bringing a mess to this country. Devolving education will not only demolish this country, but we'll be not talking of Kenya as an educative country. Who wants to be seeing village champions meandering all over this country? Nobody. Who wants to be ruled by a village champion? Nobody. So, devolving this education will bring much problems. Let us just leave education to stay as a nation, as the part of the national government. Evans Kibet out.
This motion touches on you because you're students, you're going through the 844 system, education touches on you. And therefore, I expected you to passionately come out to defend or to argue against the motion. I've just talked about one thing, passion, very important. Believe you me, most of you had problems getting my attention. Of course, I gave you my primary attention because as you rise from your seats to come to the stage, you get my primary attention. But I had a problem you had problems rather, getting my secondary attention because you are struggling with your delivery. Remember, debate is a persuasive venture and you need to be persuasive. And if you can't be persuasive, then believe you me, you are not debating. At one point, my question was, what is the benefit of devolved education? Or what are the disadvantages of devolving education? You see, I struggled through getting to your points. As debaters, take note of that it is very important to be persuasive, it's very important to be convincing. Monotonous delivery will not help because I'm going to lose you and you are going to lose your audience. It was a fair presentation. We need to work a lot in terms of our styles and in terms of audience engagement and also mastery of content.
Kituro High School. You have 61%. Please give them a round of applause. Turbo School, you were awarded 64%. You're our winners for the debate.
Thank you to both teams, and of course, bravo to Turbo for taking the day. And thank you here and at home for watching. Follow us on Twitter at Great Debaters EA. I have been your host, Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Yumbok. Catch you next time.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.